For the most part, I'm a hand cannon guy in Destiny 2.
Daring today, aren't we?
But auto rifles are currently in a pretty damn good spot in the PvP meta, enough to the point where out of the top 5 most used weapons in trials, at least according to Destiny Tracker, 3 of them are auto rifles. I mean, technically 4, the summoner's on there twice, you get what I'm saying. Don't break my balls. In short, auto rifles are good right now, and even though I'm going to continue popping AR wielders in the head with my Adept Igneous, let's talk about what I feel are the 4 biggest contenders in the AR department right now, and my personal favorites out of the 4. The Summoner, the Prosecutor, the Ammit AR2, and a weapon which is criminally low on the list of most used PvP weapons, wait for it, the Positive Outlook. Not all of these are the same archetype, but who gives a shit? Let's put them in a head-to-head competition, something I really enjoy doing from time to time. First thing to mention, 3 of these auto rifles, basically all of them except the Summoner, are getting a 5% damage nerf when Into the Light drops on April 9th. Is this going to make them bad? Highly doubtful. Other new weapon options may rise up to meet them on the most used weapons list, but if I were a gambling man, I'd say that auto rifles will still be good. And with that in mind, why don't we start off with the Ammit, which I'm gonna come right out and say it's my least favorite out of the 4. Don't get me wrong, it's by no means a bad weapon, but in my opinion, it's the starter set, the gateway drug into the land of PvP auto rifles. And aside from that one weekend where the damn thing literally broke the entire game to a laughable degree, Ammit is an attractive option for less experienced auto riflers because it is craftable. With all the options on the table, I'd say that 9 times out of 10, people go for either full bore or small bore in column 1, high cal or ricochet rounds in column 2, and dynamic sway reduction and tap the trigger. Dynamic sway is a pretty carved in stone pick on the Ammit, but there is a little room for experimentation in column 4, usually found in the form of incandescent or gut shot straight. Incandescent isn't a perk I'm wild about, but if your enemies bunch up together a lot, it can be a real hardcore perk, especially if you're playing solar. Gut shot straight gives you a plus 20% damage buff on auto rifles to body shot damage at the cost of hurting your weapon's target acquisition. According to D2 Foundry, this effect will only harm your auto-aim cone size, not your reticle stickiness, which, if true, would make this a pretty attractive option to a controller player. I usually play M&K these days, and when experimenting with gut shot, I still find the 20% auto-aim cone penalty to be annoyingly noticeable. It's hard to describe, but basically the weapon just doesn't feel as good to me with gut shot turned on as opposed to any other perk. That being said, if you use gut shot on the Ammit and don't feel like it negatively affects your ability to land shots and kill people in PvP, then by all means, go with that perk. But if you're like me and kind of feel it makes the gun feel a bit more sloppy, just roll with tap the trigger. Ammit TLDR, if you don't have god rolls of any of the other auto rifles mentioned in today's video, or you just want a really good feeling neutral game roll, i.e. perks that help your gun feel better all the time with no major upswing, then I would recommend the Ammit. Next, a weapon my buddy Cool Guy is really keen on, the Prosecutor. If you haven't seen it yet, he has a really in-depth video on this gun alone, and it's absolutely worth a watch if you're interested in the Prosecutor. Prosecutor is the same type of weapon frame as the Ammit and the Positive Outlook, a precision frame 450 RPM auto rifle. Whereas Ammit's upside is that it's craftable and has perks that make the gun feel consistent, Prosecutor's upside is that it's one of the best weapons to take advantage of target lock, a perk which I now really hate for a reason I'll get into on the next gun. The main 3 god rolls that people look for on the Prosecutor are either Zen Moment and Target Lock, Keep Away and Target Lock, or Gut Shot Straight and Target Lock. If you didn't know, Target Lock gives a very minor ramp up in bullet damage provided you're landing literally all of your shots and basically not letting go of the trigger at all. In short, if you're very accurate, Target Lock will help you, not necessarily reduce your TTK, aka your time to kill, but it can make it easier for you to hit your optimal time to kill. I'm gonna show you some numbers, do not be afraid, I promise they won't bite. You can even hold my hand if you want, but trust me, I will explain it nice and easy. This quick little spreadsheet shows us how many shots it takes to kill a Guardian in PvP with a 450 RPM auto rifle, either normally with Target Lock or with the combo of Target Lock and Gut Shot Straight, which again, Prosecutor can roll with. If you're confused about the letters H and B, that just stands for head and body. So for example, 5H, 2B means that you would kill that player in 5 headshots and 2 body shots. Currently, the Prosecutor with Target Lock is actually capable of lowering the TTK, again the time to kill, on an enemy if their resil isn't high enough. As we can see, regular Target Lock can kill an enemy in 6 headshots if they're at 5 resil or lower. If the enemy has a high resil though, we can see that no matter what, but it's going to take 7 bullets to kill that guy in PvP. However, if you have target lock, or better yet, target lock and gut shot straight, while it still takes 7 bullets to kill, it becomes more forgiving, aka the required number of headshots to kill that enemy potentially goes down. You see what I'm saying? For example, look right here. If we're fighting a guy with 6 resil in PvP, normally Prosecutor would take 6 headshots and 1 body shot to kill that guy. If we have target lock, it becomes 5 headshots and 2 body shots, and if we have target lock and gut shot together, it becomes 4 headshots and 3 body shots. You see, it takes 7 shots to kill no matter what, but target lock can help you get the job done if you accidentally hit the guy in the body instead of the head. Almost done with numbers, but real quick, why don't we look into the future? Because as I mentioned, 450 RPM auto rifles are getting a 5% damage nerf on April 9th with Into the Light. When that day comes, it should, keyword should, look like this. As you can see, target lock will no longer lower your TTK if the enemy has low resil. It's going to be 0.8 seconds to kill the other guy no matter what. Again, target lock or target lock and gut shot together can give you a little cushion of forgiveness and make things a tad easier depending on the other player's resil. By the way, if anything changes or if I have more to add in the math department, I'll update the pinned comment. At the risk of offending my bro cool guy, I like the Prosecutor for sure, but it ain't my number one. I will say though that if you're really good with auto rifles and you don't miss very often, Prosecutor is definitely what you should be farming. Quick side note, the Prophecy Dungeon should be farmable again next week, so ring the notification bell because the farming guide is a-coming. If you find yourself missing shots every now and then and feel like you aren't getting the most value out of target lock, maybe don't go for the Prosecutor, but don't worry, you got other options. TLDR, if you're cracked and very consistent in landing shots, farm the Prosecutor. Target lock shouldn't lower your TTK after April 9th, but it can make hitting your optimal TTK a tad easier depending on the enemy resil. But before we get any further, I need to tell you about Gamer Advantage. They're sponsoring today's video, so let's thank them real quick. There are a lot of gamer glasses out there in 2024, but I still prefer Gamer Advantage. Really, I actually mean that. Like, I've gotten offers from other companies, but I like these. They're lightweight, they're comfortable, they fit on my head. GG. Gamer Advantage glasses can help reduce eye strain or headaches caused by looking at screens for very long periods of time, which you can imagine I do a lot in my line of work. For real, I'm in this chair for hours at a time, streaming, writing, recording clips, you name it. They're also the only glasses clinically proven to help you sleep better and increase natural production of melatonin in the body. Again, if you suffer from eye strain or headaches from looking at a screen for very long periods of time, you gotta check out Gamer Advantage. Grind longer and game longer without that annoying eye strain. Don't wait, click my link down below in the video description and check out their wide variety of frames. You'll be glad that you did. Thank you, Gamer Advantage. All right, we back. Next up, the Summoner and the Summoner Adept. Let's get this out of the way because I mentioned it earlier. I fucking hate target lock, and not for the reason that you might think. Not because it's a potentially good perk in PvP, but sometimes it's just straight up broken. And no, I don't mean broken as in, oh, it's really good. I mean that sometimes the perk is literally goddamn broken due to what some diehard number crunchers in the community believe is a networking and latency situation. I'm gonna try to not overcomplicate this, but because target lock is a perk that activates in such a teeny tiny window, aka literally between bullets hitting a target, it can sometimes activate earlier than it's supposed to. Do some of y'all remember when there was a damage bug with Dead Man's Tale where the bonus damage from Cranial Spike would sometimes activate on the first bullet? It's kinda like that. In short, potentially due to latency or God knows what other factor, target lock can activate earlier than it should, and yes, it could potentially affect your TTK. And by the way, no, this is not due to a difference in magazine size. I've literally watched frame by frame clips of 2 identical weapons with identical mag sizes on Guardians with the same resil number getting killed earlier due to bugged target lock. By the way, shout out to Mossy Max, a very knowledged number guy who I had a few chats with about this very annoying glitch. Go give him a follow. All right, enough blue balling. Here are the target lock numbers, and this time to show you the effect of bugged target lock, an extra column featuring the TTK changes of target lock if it activates early, which again can happen every now and then. Overall, target lock can reduce your TTK, but only if the other guy's resil isn't very high. If you're above 5, target lock won't reduce your TTK, but can make getting the optimal TTK a tad more forgiving. At the end of the day, go target lock if you want. Again, it's a fine pick if you're really accurate and don't miss very often, but I kind of like the other perks on the summoner more. It can get kill clip, onslaught, or golden tricorn. I already did a deep dive video on the summoner before learning about bugged target lock, annoyingly, but here's a very quick recap on the other perks if you want more numbers. Kill clip takes the TTK on an all headshot kill from 0.8 down to 0.6 seconds. Onslaught level 1 takes the TTK of an all headshot kill from 0.8 to 0.66, with the potential to go even lower if you hit onslaught level 2 or 3. And golden tricorn level 1 takes the TTK on an all headshot kill from 0.8 down to 0.7 seconds. And call me crazy, but I kind of like golden tricorn the most. Kill clip and onslaught are great, but golden tricorn has a 7-second duration, meaning that once activated at level 1, you have so much time to put that extra damage to work. And of course, if you manage to activate tricorn level 2, you'll just straight up murder anybody in front of you. But really, any of those perks in column 4 would be fine. TLDR, if you want an auto rifle that has fun column 4 perks that aren't just target lock, summoner all day. And also, it just feels really accurate to me. It just feels good and clean, and I like it a lot. Also, people sleep on that wildcard origin trait, by the way. All right, the final weapon I want to talk about is the positive outlook, which honestly wasn't even on my radar until Bungie called it out in the TWID when mentioning the upcoming auto rifle changes. Because I'd been running so many GM Nightfalls to get an Adept Slammer, I had a lot of Vanguard engrams, so I focused on outlook, took it into PvP, and on game 1 got a 46 kill we ran out of medals game. Yeah, this thing is gross, and even though it can roll with good neutral game perks like Eye of the Storm, I already got a good neutral game auto, my boring vanilla crafted Ammit. If you're running the outlook, it is kill clip in column 4 all day, ideally paired with Zen Moment in column 3, but mine has Tap the Trigger. That feels pretty good too. I can only imagine Dynamic Sway would also feel great. The outlook is the high ceiling variant of the Ammit, where Ammit is just consistent and feels good to shoot all the time. Outlook says, yeah, but what if you added kill clip? Depending on your enemy's resil, you're looking at a potential 0.53 second TTK with kill clip. Good lord. TLDR, if you like the feel of the Ammit but want a high damage variant, go to Zavala and try to get a kill clip positive outlook, because honestly, goddamn. At the end of the day, all 4 are great, but here are my personal rankings, nothing official, just what I like the most. In last place, the Ammit. Next, the Prosecutor and the Summoner, which are probably tied for silver, with Summoner feeling a tad cleaner in a way I can't really explain. And finally, the positive outlook, which actually kind of makes using an auto rifle feel fun, and that is coming from a diehard hand cannon lover. Anyway, happy auto rifling, and if you have a completely different rifle that you love for other reasons, please share down in the comment section. Thanks very much for watching. Peace!